You were selected to win a new car, but Archangel Michael detected energy that reversed the miracle, and someone close to you helped do it. The heavens had already signed your blessing. The new car wasn't just a car, it was a symbol. A sign from God that your season of lack had ended. A tangible proof that the words spoken over your life were taking shape in the natural. The keys were prepared in the spirit, the doors already unlocked. But before the miracle could land in your hands, the atmosphere shifted. Archangel Michael, the mighty defender of God's people, moved swiftly. His sword was drawn, his wings spread wide, but not against your blessing, against the dark current moving toward it. In that moment, a revelation shook the heavens. The energy surrounding your miracle had been reversed. The path of your blessing had been tampered with. And here is the most painful truth. This wasn't the work of a distant enemy, nor a stranger in the shadows. No, it was someone within your circle, someone who has smiled in your presence, shared your bread, and spoken words that sounded harmless but carried venom hidden in the spirit. While you celebrated your upcoming breakthrough, they whispered doubts, released envy, and opened a doorway for the reversal. Do you not know? Envy is a silent assassin. It does not need to shout to kill. It operates in whispers, in glances, in hidden intentions. The very person who congratulated you may have been the one who planted seeds of spiritual sabotage. And heaven, in its mercy, let Archangel Michael uncover it before it fully manifested in your hands, because God will not allow you to receive a gift that has been poisoned in the spirit. This is a warning. Your blessing was real. The miracle was already yours, but it was intercepted. And now, you must learn to see beyond the smiles, to discern the unspoken currents of energy, to guard what God places in your hands before it ever touches the earth. What you are about to hear in the coming messages is not just a story. It is a prophetic unveiling of why blessings are sometimes delayed, how miracles are reversed, and why you must watch not only the enemy in the distance, but also the friend at your table. The one who celebrated you may be the one who cursed you, and the one who seemed to help may have been the one to hand your keys to the spirit of theft. But God, in His mercy, will reveal the hidden, restore the stolen, and place back in your hands what heaven has decreed. This is where the reversal ends and recovery begins. The truth is, not every smile is safe. Sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones who seem to care the most. They walk with you, they laugh with you, they even pray with you, but deep inside, something else lives in their heart. It is not love. It is not joy. It is a quiet, hidden jealousy that grows like a weed when they see your light shining. This spirit of jealousy is not harmless. It is a gatekeeper for destruction. It waits for the moment when God sends a blessing to your life, and then it stands at the gate, trying to block it from entering. Type I am anointed to get the blessing 8888. When God sends a miracle, He does not just drop it from the sky. He travels in the spirit first. Your blessing is prepared in heaven. It moves toward you in the unseen realm, and finally, it arrives in your hands. But the journey from heaven to earth is not without battle. The enemy knows when your blessing is close, and he begins to stir up people around you. He looks for someone nearby whose heart is open to envy, someone who will agree with his plan, even without knowing they are being used. This is what happened to you. Archangel Michael saw it before you could see it. He saw the angel assigned to deliver your blessing being stopped by a dark cloud of energy. He traced the source of that energy and found it was not from a faraway witch or a stranger who hated you. Oh, it was from someone you trusted. Someone close enough to hear your testimony, to know your joy, to feel your excitement about what was coming. And instead of rejoicing, they released silent words into the air, words that carried weight in the spirit. Words like, "Why them? Why not me?" Those words were like arrows shot toward your miracle. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 3210. Some blessings are fragile in their early stages. Just like a newborn child, they must be protected from harsh winds. If you announce them too early, if you share them with the wrong people, you give the enemy a chance to work through human hearts. Jealousy does not always shout. Sometimes it comes in soft tones and polite questions. Sometimes it hides in fake encouragement. But in the spiritual realm, jealousy is fire. It burns the path your blessing is walking on. God allowed Archangel Michael to stop the blessing because if it had reached you under that corrupted energy, it would have been a burden instead of a joy. The enemy knows how to twist a gift so that what was meant to lift you ends up hurting you. That is why God sometimes delays a blessing, because He is not just giving you the gift, He is also protecting it from being poisoned. Do not be angry at the delay. Be grateful for the protection. For the same hands that applauded you might have been the same hands that tried to pull the rug from under your feet. Now the truth is being revealed so you can guard your future blessings better. You must learn the power of silence. You must learn to let your blessings speak for themselves when they arrive, instead of announcing them before they land. The Bible says in Micah 7:5, "Do not trust a neighbor, put no confidence in a friend." This is not to make you live in fear, but to make you live in wisdom. God knows the human heart better than you do. He knows who smiles with pure love and who smiles while hiding envy. And He will send His angels to intervene when the wrong person touches your miracle in the spirit. Your blessing is still coming. The car is still in the plan. But God will release it in a season when the enemy's hands cannot touch it, and when your circle is clean from those who wish you harm. Until then, keep watch. Guard your joy. Protect the path of your blessing with prayer, fasting, and silence. Type I am rising to get the blessing 4567. Many people think blessings are only physical things, but every blessing is first spiritual energy. It is like a seed planted in the unseen before it grows into something you can touch. This is why some miracles feel so close. You can sense them in your heart. You dream about them. You even get signs from God, but then suddenly they vanish. This is not because God changed His mind. It is because the energy around the blessing was attacked and reversed. Type I am victorious to get the blessing 7771. Energy is not just light and warmth. It is the force that carries God's promise from His throne to your life. When the energy is pure, the blessing flows easily. But when the energy is polluted by doubt, fear, jealousy, or curses, the flow can slow down or even turn backwards. Think of it like a river. A river flows naturally downhill, but if a storm comes and the winds are strong enough, the water can be pushed back upstream. This is exactly what happened to your blessing. Archangel Michael saw the spiritual winds changing direction. He saw that the gift, already moving toward you, was now being pushed away. The cause was not just the enemy. It was someone close to you agreeing with the enemy through their thoughts, words, and emotions. You may not have heard them speak against you with their mouth, but in the spirit their agreement was loud enough to shift the flow. This is why the Bible warns us in Proverbs 18:21 that death and life are in the power of the tongue, Words are not just sounds, they are spiritual commands. They can either pull a blessing toward you or push it away. When a person close to you speaks against you, even in secret, it has more impact because of the level of access they have to your life. They are not a stranger, they are inside your atmosphere. This is why spiritual betrayal hurts more than any other kind. You must understand that energy moves through agreement. Heaven works through agreement with God's word. Hell works through agreement with lies, envy, and curses. If someone in your circle agrees with the enemy about your life, they can create a spiritual pathway for the enemy to touch your blessings. This does not mean they have to be a witch or a sorcerer. It simply means they became a willing channel for the wrong spirit. Type I walk in light to get the blessing 1199. When Archangel Michael blocked the blessing, it was not a punishment. It was a rescue. God will never hand you a gift that has been spiritually poisoned. If He gave you the car while this person's energy was still attached to it, you would have faced problems with it, breakdowns, financial strain, and even accidents. The enemy loves to take what God gives and twist it into a burden. That is why God sometimes interrupts the delivery of a miracle, not because He does not want you to have it, but because He wants to give it to you in a state of purity. Now God is showing you that not everyone around you is meant to know your good news before it arrives. The next time God gives you a sign of a blessing, protect it. Pray over it. Seal it in the blood of Jesus. Ask the angels to guard it until it is safe to reveal. There is power in secrecy during the birth of a miracle. Just like a farmer covers the seed until it grows strong enough to face the weather, you must cover your blessings in prayer until they are strong enough to stand against jealousy and curses. You are not losing your miracle, you are gaining wisdom. The blessing is still in motion, but now you will be able to receive it without the enemy's fingerprints on it. Remember, a reversed blessing can be restored. The same God who began the delivery can send it again, stronger than before. Your job now is to close the gates that allowed the reversal. Watch your circle. Guard your words. Keep your spirit clean from offense, because offense opens the door for more attacks. Your hands will still hold the keys. Your eyes will still see the promise. But when it comes, it will come in God's timing, and it will come surrounded by His protection. Type I am unstoppable to get the blessing 9080. You must understand this truth. The enemy rarely attacks you directly. He prefers to use the hands of someone you already trust. It is easier for him to move through a familiar face because you will not suspect them. They are already close enough to hear your secrets, close enough to see your plans, and close enough to touch your blessings before they arrive. This is why betrayal always feels so heavy. It comes from those who had the privilege of standing close to your heart. Type I am guarded to get the blessing 5521. The person who helped reverse your miracle may not even think they are your enemy. In their mind, they might believe they are just being real or speaking their feelings. But in the spirit, their actions have weight. Words of doubt weaken the wall of protection around your blessing. Envious thoughts send signals into the atmosphere, calling the wrong forces to interfere. What is whispered in the dark can echo loudly in the spiritual world. When Archangel Michael exposed the source of the energy that reversed your blessing, it was to teach you a lesson about spiritual borders. You cannot let everyone have access to your inner life. Not every friend is meant to know your timelines. Not every family member is meant to know the details of your pavilion. Even the closest people can open doors for attack if their hearts are unguarded. This is not about living in fear. It is about living in discernment. The Bible shows this clearly. In the story of Joseph, he shared his dream with his brothers, and instead of celebrating, they hated him even more. Their jealousy moved from the heart into action, and they sold him into slavery. If the enemy could use family to delay Joseph's destiny, he can use someone close to you to reverse a miracle. Type I am wise to get the blessing 6744. Some people carry what I call sticky hands in the spirit. Whatever they touch becomes heavy, delayed, or drained. This is because they carry an atmosphere of discontentment and strife. When they see someone else being blessed, they feel threatened instead of inspired. The enemy feeds on that feeling, using it like fuel to block the flow of blessings toward you. If you allow such people constant access to your life, you allow their atmosphere to mix with yours. God is merciful. He will sometimes pause your blessing when he sees the wrong person is too close to it. Think of it like a parent holding back a gift until the room is clean. The gift is still yours, but it is being kept in a safe place until the environment is right. This pause is not rejection. It is preparation. And once the wrong hands are removed, the blessing can move freely again. This is why you are feeling this message so strongly right now, because God wants you to act. This is your moment to clean your circle. This is your moment to strengthen your spiritual walls. Ask God to reveal anyone who is acting as a silent gatekeeper against your blessings. Sometimes he will show you through dreams, sometimes through strange changes in behavior, and sometimes through sudden conflicts that push certain people away. Do not always fight to keep everyone close. Sometimes the distance is divine. Understand this. Your miracle is not lost. It is waiting in the spirit, protected until the appointed time. But this time, when it comes, it will arrive without the fingerprints of those who tried to stop it. You will enjoy it fully, without the shadows of jealousy or the weight of hidden curses. The very same Archangel Michael who stopped the reversal is now standing guard, ensuring that when the blessing is released again, it will reach you untouched. So lift your head. Refuse to be discouraged by the delay. Use this moment to pray, to guard, and to prepare. Because when God sends the blessing again, it will come faster than you expect and greater than you imagined. Type I am rising higher to get the blessing 8220. The enemy is patient. He often waits until the blessing is only a few steps away before he strikes. This is because he knows if he attacks too early, you will have time to recover and rebuild before the blessing comes. But if he attacks at the last moment, he can stop the miracle when you are least expecting it. You will be full of joy, relaxed, and unguarded. Then suddenly, the flow is interrupted. Type I am covered to get the blessing 9102. In the spirit realm, blessings move like a traveler on a long journey. The journey begins in heaven and moves through spiritual highways until it reaches you. Along the way, angels guard it, fight for it, and clear the path. But the enemy has watchers too, dark spirits assigned to monitor your progress. They cannot stop what God has ordained on their own, but they look for open doors, weak moments, and human agreements that give them permission to interfere. The last stage of delivery is the most sensitive. It is like a baby being born. This is when both the mother and the child are most vulnerable. In the same way, when your blessing is about to be born into the physical world, it needs the most protection. This is why you may suddenly face strange dreams, unexpected arguments, or sudden doubts right before a breakthrough. These are not random. They are strategic attacks to weaken your spiritual covering. The person close to you who helped reverse the miracle may not have planned it in their mind, but their emotions were open to the enemy. When they felt envy or spoke careless words, it was like signing an agreement in the spirit for your blessing to be pushed back. The enemy uses such moments as legal rights to delay or reverse what was on its way to you. This is why Jesus warned us to watch and pray, not just for ourselves, but for the atmosphere around us. Type I am shielded to get the blessing 6033. God allowed Archangel Michael to step in because he saw the timing. The enemy wanted to hit you when your guard was down. If the reversal had succeeded fully, it could have left you in deep discouragement and even made you question God's promises. But the Lord is faithful. He would rather delay the miracle than let you receive it in a broken condition. The enemy's last-moment attacks are often the strongest because he throws everything he has at you in that final window. You will stir up the wrong people, send unexpected expenses, create emotional storms, and even use people's opinions to make you doubt yourself. If you give in to fear or anger in this time, it opens a door for him to push the blessing further away. This is why your greatest weapon is calm trust in God during the storm. When you see sudden chaos right before your breakthrough, do not panic. Instead, see it as confirmation that the blessing is near. The closer the delivery, the harder the fight. But remember this: God's angels are not just watching, they are actively fighting for you. Archangel Michael is a warrior. His sword does not miss. The same way he saw the reversal, he can also restore the blessing and bring it to you with divine speed. So in these last moments, guard your heart from offense, your mouth from careless words, and your mind from doubt. Keep speaking life over your blessing. Keep thanking God as if it is already in your hands. Your faith will hold the door open for the miracle to come through. And when it arrives, it will be untouched by the enemy's plans. Stay ready, because sudden blessings are just as real as sudden attacks. What the enemy tried to push back will return stronger. And this time, you will see the glory of God in it, not the fingerprints of those who tried to stop it. Type I am victorious again to get the blessing 7441. In the spirit world, your name is not just a word. It is your identity, your authority, and your destiny. When heaven prepares a blessing for you, your name is written on it. No one else can claim it unless the spiritual covering around your name is tampered with. This is why the enemy fights so hard, not just to block your blessing, but to speak your name in the wrong atmosphere. Type I am sealed to get the blessing 5122. When someone close to you agrees with jealousy or speaks against you, they release your name into the wrong hands. It is like giving a thief the key to your house. That person may never physically harm you, but in the spiritual realm, their words can shift the energy surrounding your name. Once the energy shifts, the blessing marked for you can be delayed, reversed, or rerouted. The Bible tells us in Numbers 22 how Balak hired Balaam to curse the Israelites by name. Why? Because he knew if their name was cursed, their progress would be blocked. Even though Balaam could not curse what God had blessed, the very act of trying shows us the strategy of the enemy. Attack the name, and you affect the destiny. In your case, the person close to you did not need to stand on a mountain like Balaam. They only needed to release a thought, a whisper, or an emotion of envy. Archangel Michael is a defender not only of your life but also of your name. He knows when your name is being mentioned in places of darkness. He knows when the energy around your name is shifting from blessing to resistance. That is why he acted quickly to stop the delivery. It was not because the blessing was gone. It was because your name needed cleansing before the gift could arrive. This is why it is important to keep your name in God's mouth through prayer. When you pray, heaven speaks your name in the courts of light. When you worship, your name rises like incense before the throne. This covering makes it harder for the enemy to attach curses or negative energy to your destiny. Type I am covered in light to get the blessing 9901. Some of you have been feeling unusual heaviness lately. You sense something is off, but you cannot explain it. This is often a sign that your name is under attack. You may notice sudden misunderstandings with people, false accusations, or a wave of negative opinions about you. These are not random. They are manifestations of what is happening in the unseen realm. The enemy knows if he can stain your name, he can make the blessing hesitate on its journey toward you. But here is the hope. God restores names. Joseph went from being mocked and falsely accused to having his name honored before kings. Daniel's name was spoken in royal courts after the lion's den. When God redeems your name, he not only erases the negative energy around it, but also gives it more authority than before. That is what is about to happen for you. The blessing will not just come, it will come with your name shining brighter than before. So now is the time to protect your name. Speak well of others, even those who hurt you. Refuse to respond to envy with anger. Keep your spirit clean, because a clean spirit is a strong defense against name attacks. And keep your name in the hands of God, where no enemy can rewrite your destiny. Your blessing has not been lost. It is being guarded until your name is free from every shadow. When it arrives, there will be no confusion about who it belongs to. Your name will be honored in heaven and on earth. And the same people who doubted you will see the glory of God written over your life. Type I am restored to get the blessing 8733. One of the most dangerous things in life is a hidden enemy. An open enemy is easy to recognize. You can see their actions, hear their words, and prepare yourself. But a hidden enemy pretends to be your friend while working against you in secret. They smile when you succeed, but inside, they are burning with envy. They speak words of support, but their heart is not with you. Type I am preserved to get the blessing 6678. The person who helped reverse your miracle may not even know the full damage they caused. In their mind, it may have seemed like nothing, just a complaint, just a moment of jealousy, just a careless word. But in the spiritual world, those small actions carry great weight. The enemy only needs a small opening to create a big problem. And when that opening comes from someone close to you, it is far more powerful than if it came from a stranger. You must begin to notice the subtle signs of a hidden enemy. They may become distant when you share good news. They may quickly change the subject when you talk about blessings. They may give weak congratulations, followed by negative comments like, "I hope it lasts," or "We'll see how long that works." These are not harmless words. They are seeds planted in the atmosphere, and if you are not spiritually alert, they can grow into obstacles. The Bible warns us in Psalm 41:9, "Even my close friend, someone I trusted, one who shared my bread, has turned against me." This verse shows that betrayal often comes from the table of friendship. That is why you must guard your heart and watch for signs, not with fear, but with wisdom. God does not want you to live suspicious of everyone. He wants you to be spiritually awake so you can recognize who is for you and who is against you. Type I am alert to get the blessing 4090. A hidden enemy often reveals themselves in moments of delay or loss. When your blessing was reversed, pay attention to who comforted you and who remained silent. Pay attention to who offered to pray for you and who disappeared. Sometimes, God allows small disappointments in your life so that the true nature of people around you can be revealed. If you notice someone's mood shift when you succeed, that is a sign. If they seem more comfortable when you are struggling, that is a sign. If they only give half support when you are winning but full sympathy when you are losing, that is a sign. The Spirit of God will show you these patterns if you ask Him to open your eyes. Archangel Michael revealed the energy reversal not to bring fear, but to give you clarity. You cannot fight what you cannot see, and you cannot protect what you do not value. This is why God is opening your eyes, to protect your blessings in the future. A hidden enemy can only work in darkness. Once they are exposed, their power is broken. From now on, be slow to share good news with everyone. Share testimonies with people who have proven their hearts are clean toward you. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your wins as if they were their own. And if God removes someone from your circle, let them go without bitterness. Not everyone can be trusted with your future. Your blessing is still alive. It has only been delayed until the wrong energy is removed. When it comes back, it will not just be a car, it will be a testimony that no enemy, hidden or open, can steal what God has assigned to you. Type I am untouchable to get the blessing 7205. There is a spiritual law you must understand. Not every door that is closed is from the enemy. Some doors are closed by God Himself to protect you from harm you cannot yet see. When your blessing was reversed, it was not destroyed. God simply closed the door temporarily until the atmosphere around you was clean. This was not rejection, it was divine protection. Type I am protected to get the blessing 8144. We often think an open door means God's favor, and a closed door means something went wrong. But the truth is, God closes doors for two main reasons, either because the timing is wrong or because there is danger on the other side. In your case, the danger was not the blessing itself, but the energy that had attached to it through the actions of someone close to you. If God had let the car arrive in that condition, it would have been a blessing wrapped in problems. Think about Noah. God closed the door of the ark Himself before the flood began. This was not to trap Noah inside, it was to keep destruction outside. In the same way, when God closed the door to your blessing, it was to keep you safe from unseen trouble. Archangel Michael was part of that process. He saw the negative current moving toward your gift and acted quickly to stop it before it crossed into your life. Closed doors can be frustrating because they make you feel like you are losing. But in reality, a closed door is often a shield. You may cry over what you think you missed, but heaven is rejoicing over what you avoided. This is why God says in Isaiah 55:8, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways." What feels like a loss to you can be a rescue in disguise. Type I am safe to get the blessing 6902. Some blessings are not denied. They are delayed until you are in a position to receive them without interference. When God delays, He is not only working on the gift, He is working on your environment. He will shift relationships, change locations, and even reorder your priority before releasing certain blessings. This ensures that when the door opens again, you can enjoy the gift without fear or sabotage. The law of closed doors also teaches us that not everyone should be allowed to walk through every door with us. Some people were only meant to be part of your journey for a season, not for the destination. When God sees someone is not meant to be there for the next stage of your blessing, He will create separation. It may come as a sudden disagreement, a slow drifting apart, or an unexpected change in circumstances. You may not understand it at first, but later you will see His hand in it. Right now, the door to your car blessing is not locked forever. It is simply shut for cleaning. God is removing fingerprints that do not belong there. He is wiping away the stains of envy and replacing them with the oil of joy. When the door opens again, it will swing wide, and nothing will be able to close it. Revelation 3:8 says, "What He opened, no one can shut, and what He shuts, no one can open." That is the promise you stand on today. So do not waste your energy trying to force a door open before God's timing. Instead, focus on preparing yourself for when it opens. Keep your spirit clean, your heart free from bitterness, and your faith strong. Because when the door opens again, the blessing will be pure, whole, and overflowing with peace. Type "I am ready to get the blessing" 7750. When the enemy reverses a blessing, it can feel like everything is lost. You may think, if it slipped away, it will never come back. But this is not how God works. A reversed blessing is not the same as a stolen blessing. When something is stolen, it is taken completely out of your possession. But when something is reversed, it is simply sent back to the starting point for cleansing and preparation. Type "I am renewed to get the blessing" 8601. Think of it like a letter returned to sender. The delivery did not fail because the address was wrong. It was returned because there was something in the environment that made it unsafe to deliver. God sends blessings with care. He will not let His gifts arrive in an atmosphere where they will be destroyed by envy, gossip, or spiritual pollution. Archangel Michael plays a big role in this process. When he sees a reversal in motion, he does not just stand back. He intercepts the blessing, shields it from further corruption, and then returns it to the heavenly storehouse. There, it is refreshed, restored, and even multiplied before being sent again. This means that when the blessing comes back, it often comes back bigger and better than before. We see this in the story of Job. He lost everything: wealth, family, health, but it was not a permanent loss. God restored twice as much as he had before. This is the nature of divine restoration. The enemy may think he has pushed your miracle away, but God uses the reversal as an opportunity to prepare an even greater release. Type "I am restored double" to get the blessing 9420. But there is a condition. Restoration is not automatic. It must be received with faith and preparation. If you keep the same open doors that allowed the reversal the first time, the enemy can try again. This is why God often uses the waiting period to work on your discernment. He teaches you who to trust, what to share, and when to remain silent. By the time the blessing returns, you will be stronger and wiser, able to guard it well. Sometimes, restoration happens in unexpected ways. You may think God will simply send back the same car, the same model, or the same exact thing you expected. But often, He replaces it with something better, an upgrade that proves the delay was worth it. This is why you must resist the temptation to mourn what you think you lost. Instead, keep your eyes on what God is about to send. You must also understand that restoration is a public testimony. When God restores, He makes sure people see it. This is not to feed your pride, but to glorify His name. The same people who thought your miracle was gone will witness it returning, shining brighter than before. This will silence the voice of envy and remind everyone that no plan of the enemy can stand against God's will. Right now, your blessing is in the process of restoration. The reversal was not the end. It was the reset. The same way a gardener prunes a tree so it can grow better fruit, God removed your blessing temporarily so it could return in fullness. And when it does, it will carry peace, joy, and favor with it. Do not give up. The car is still coming. The keys are still assigned to you. And this time, when you sit behind the wheel, you will know that no one, friend or enemy, had the power to stop what God put in your hands. Type I am receiving to get the blessing 1004. When a blessing has been reversed, there are things you could do to help it return faster. God is already working on your behalf, but He also gives you spiritual actions that can open the way for quicker restoration. These are not difficult steps, but they require faith, discipline, and a willing heart. Type I'm aligned to get the blessing 5099. First, close the doors. The same way you would lock your house after a break-in, you must lock your spiritual life after a reversal. Ask God to show you any open doors that allowed envy, gossip, or wrong energy to touch your blessing. These doors can be certain conversations, relationships, or habits. Once you see them, close them with prayer and decision. Some people may need to be loved from a distance. Some topics may need to remain private. Second, speak life daily. Your words are spiritual seeds. What you speak now shapes what grows tomorrow. If you keep talking about loss, you will keep feeding the spirit of delay. Instead, begin to declare that your blessing is on its way, that it is safe, that it will arrive on time. Speak these truths out loud every day. The spiritual world responds to spoken words of faith. Third, sow into restoration. This does not always mean money. It can mean time, prayer, acts of kindness, or even encouragement to others. When you help someone else protect or recover their blessing, you create a spiritual agreement for your own restoration. The Bible says in Galatians 6:7 that we reap what we sow. If you sow into someone's breakthrough, you also position yourself for one. Type I am a sower to get the blessing 8207. Fourth, worship while you wait. Worship is not just singing songs. It is aligning your heart with God's presence. When you worship, you shift your focus from what is missing to the one who supplies. Worship changes the atmosphere around you. It removes heaviness, strengthens your faith, and clears the spiritual air for blessings to flow again. Fifth, protect your peace. The enemy thrives in chaos. If he can keep your mind troubled, your heart offended, and your spirit restless, he can slow down your restoration. Guard your peace by avoiding arguments, refusing gossip, and spending time in God's presence. Peace is not weakness, it is a weapon. As you do these things, you are creating a straight path for your blessing to return. It's like repairing a broken bridge. At first, the blessing could not cross because the bridge was damaged by negative energy. But through prayer, obedience, and faith, you are rebuilding that bridge stronger than before. Once it is complete, your blessing will move quickly toward you without resistance. Remember, God is not only returning what was reversed, He is also preparing you to hold it. If He gave it back too soon, without these changes in your heart and life, the same reversal could happen again. But now, you will be ready. The same hands that almost lost the blessing will now be able to guard it. Do not measure the speed of restoration by days or weeks. Measure it by alignment. The moment your life is in full agreement with God's will, the blessing will arrive. And when it comes, it will feel sudden, but it will be the result of everything God has been preparing in the unseen. The car is not gone. The keys are not lost. Heaven still has your name written on this miracle. And now, with each step you take, you are bringing it closer to your hands. Time restored now to get the blessing 7,804. Sometimes, God allows a blessing to be reversed, not to hurt you, but to show you something you could not see before. A blessing is like light. It can shine on areas of your life that were hidden. And when that light is suddenly removed, it makes you pay attention to shadows you ignored before. I am enlightened to get the blessing 6,112. When the car blessing was on its way, your joy was high, and your guard was low. This is natural. We relax when good things are coming. But God knew there were people in your circle whose hearts were not clean toward you. If the blessing had arrived without revealing them, they would have stayed close and continued to block or harm future miracles. The reversal became a spotlight, exposing the hidden enemy. In the Bible, God used similar moments to reveal truth. When Gideon was preparing for battle, God told him to send away those who were fearful and those who were not ready. It looked like a loss, going from thousands of soldiers to only 300. But in reality, God was removing the ones who would weaken the victory. Sometimes a reversal is God's way of sending certain people away before they can damage what's ahead. The person who helped reverse your miracle may not even realize they were being used. But God wanted you to see patterns, their reactions, their words, their sudden distance or strange behavior. These patterns are not random. They are clues. And once you see them, you can no longer pretend you do not know the truth. This is also a time when God reveals spiritual weaknesses in you. A reversal can show if you are too quick to share good news, too trusting of the wrong voices, or too easily discouraged when things shift. This is not for shame, it is for growth. God reveals so He can heal and strengthen you. I am teachable to get the blessing 9,325. In some cases, the reversal reveals wrong alignments. You may notice certain friendships, family ties, or business connections are only strong when you are struggling, but they become shaky when you succeed. God chose this so you can make wise choices about who walks with you in the next season. He will not send a blessing into an atmosphere where it will be drained or corrupted. The revelation can also be about timing. Maybe the blessing was real, but your schedule or location was not yet aligned for it. God sometimes shows you through a reversal that there is more preparation needed, not for the gift, but for you to fully enjoy it. Once the truth is revealed, you have a responsibility. You cannot go back to old ways of thinking. You cannot ignore what God has shown you. If you do, you risk allowing the same open doors to remain. But if you act on what has been revealed, you position yourself for a restoration that is permanent. Remember, God is not in the business of teasing His children. He does not show you a blessing just to take it away forever. If He allowed you to see it, it is because it is part of your destiny. The reversal was simply a prophetic classroom, teaching you lessons you needed before receiving it. Now that you have seen the truth, walk in it. Protect your joy. Keep your heart clean, even toward those who hurt you. And keep your eyes open for the signs of God's timing. The blessing will return, but this time, it will come without hidden enemies attached to it. I am walking in truth to get the blessing 7,250. When God sends a blessing the second time, it does not travel alone. It comes wrapped in fresh mercy, guarded by angels, and marked with a lesson you were meant to learn. The first approach showed you where the cracks were. The second approach confirms those cracks are sealed. So preparation is not optional. It is the bridge between promise and possession. Begin with your heart. Ask God to rinse out bitterness, to remove silent anger, to lift the weight of disappointment. If your heart is still arguing with the delay, your hands will tremble when the keys finally arrive. Lay down the questions that keep you restless. Tell your soul, peace, be still. And thank God in advance, because thanksgiving softens hard ground and makes room for new things to grow. Type I am prepared to get the blessing 8449. Now move to your words. Your mouth can neither build a landing strip or tear it apart. Speak life over the second arrival every morning and every night. Say, my blessing is protected. My blessing is timely. My blessing brings peace. Refuse to rehearse what went wrong. Refuse to replay old conversations that kept the door open to envy. Bless those who hurt you and bless the path of your miracle. Words are not background noise. They are workers in the Spirit. Put them to work. Let your sentences carry oil, not smoke. And if a doubtful thought knocks at the door, answer it with scripture. Answer it with worship. Answer it with silence if needed, but never with agreement. And look at your circle. Not everyone should stand near the delivery gate. Ask God to highlight who brings light and who brings fog. Watch patterns, not moments. Who celebrates you without a hidden wince. Who prays with you without competing. Who can be trusted with silence, not just with noise. Create gentle distance where hearts are not yet healed. You are not punishing anyone. You are protecting the promise. Keep a small, clean room around what heaven is sending. Pure atmospheres host your blessings. Type I am surrounded by light to get the blessing 6810. Prepare in prayer. Pray specifically and simply. Lord, assign angels to the road this blessing will take. Seal it from stray words, stray thoughts, and stray eyes. Let no counterfeit arrive before the real. Pray over timing, over documents, over details. Pray over your own emotions so joy does not turn into carelessness. If dreams come, write them down. If warnings come, obey them quickly. Prayer is not a performance. It is protection. It builds invisible fences the enemy cannot cross. Even 5 minutes of focused prayer can shift a day. Even one whisper, Jesus, can change the current of a night. Keep the line open. Prepare in the natural. Faith is not messy. Faith is orderly. If the blessing is a car, get your papers ready, your parking sorted, your budget aligned, your plan for maintenance set. Have a safe place to keep the keys. If God trusts you with a gift, show Him you are ready to manage it with care. Clean your space. Clear clutter that invites confusion. Create routines that make stewardship easy. Excellence is a sermon without words. The second arrival responds to order like a ship responds to a lighthouse. It finds you faster. Guard your peace like a soldier at a gate. Offense will try to slip back in when you remember the betrayal. Let it pass by. Do not argue with people whose hearts are not ready for your growth. Do not explain yourself to envy. It cannot hear you. Keep worship music near. Keep quiet walks near. Keep wise counsel near. Peace is not passive, it is a shield. When peace stands, fear must sit. When peace speaks, panic goes silent. Hold that ground. Practice holy secrecy. Share updates only with those assigned to protect, not to pry. Let your testimony be full when it is time, not half-baked under curious eyes. Jesus often healed and then said, "Tell no one," because timing matters. Your silence is not fear, it is strategy. Cover the promise until it can stand in public without shaking. And when it stands, let it point to God, not to you. Finally, prepare your gratitude. Decide now that the first drive, the first photo, the first errand, the first everything will begin with thanks. Promise God you will treat the blessing as holy, not common. Promise to use it with wisdom, to offer rides to those He highlights, to keep it clean as an altar you steward. Gratitude is the oil that keeps good things from grinding. Thank Him now, thank Him later, thank Him always. Type "I am ready to receive" to get the blessing 9533. Right before a blessing arrives, heaven becomes very active. Angels are sent on specific missions. They are not just carrying the gift, they are also clearing the path, silencing the enemy, and making sure the delivery will not be interrupted again. When your blessing is close, you may not see these angels with your eyes, but you will notice changes around you. Certain people may suddenly go quiet. Unexpected opportunities may open. Peace will begin to settle in your spirit. These are signs that angelic movements are happening. Type "I'm surrounded" to get the blessing 7025. Archangel Michael is one of the main protectors in these moments. He hath been assigned to fight off the same forces that caused the first reversal. He does not just push back darkness, he completely removes it from the delivery route. This is why some days before your breakthrough, you may feel a sudden lifting of heaviness. It is the sign that a battle hath been won in the unseen. Other angels are sent as messengers. They release thoughts and ideas into your heart, what to do, where to go, who to avoid. These are not random feelings. They are instructions from heaven to help you stay in position for the blessing. If you feel the urge to change a plan or cancel a meeting, do not ignore it. It could be God redirecting you to avoid interference. Angels also act as guards over your environment. They make sure the wrong voices do not have influence over you during the delivery. Sometimes this means certain friendships go quiet for a while. Sometimes it means family members get busy and cannot check in. Do not always see this as rejection. Sometimes it is protection. Heaven knows who should be close when the blessing lands. Type "I am guided" to get the blessing 8332. In the Bible, we see this pattern. When Peter was in prison, angels opened the doors for him and led him out. They even told him exactly where to walk. The same way, angels are guiding your blessing right now. They are removing delays, lifting obstacles, and carrying it closer to your hands with each passing moment. You may also notice increased spiritual warfare right before a breakthrough. This is because the enemy can sense movement in the spirit. He cannot stop what God has commanded, but he will try to distract you with fear, confusion, or conflict. This is why you must stay calm and focused. Trust that the angels are still at work, even if you feel pressure in the natural. Sometimes angels use other people to help you. They may inspire someone to give you helpful information, to provide a needed resource, or to connect you with the right opportunity. You may think it is just kindness, but it is actually divine coordination. Heaven knows exactly who to position in your path for the blessing to arrive without delay. While the angels are moving, Your role is to stay in agreement with God. Keep speaking life. Keep praying. Keep worshiping. Do not speak words of doubt even if you feel impatient. Remember, every time you agree with God, you strengthen the angel's assignment. Every time you agree with fear, you give the enemy a foothold. When the angels finish their preparation work, the blessing comes quickly. What seemed delayed for months can arrive in a single day. The moment God says, "Grow," nothing in heaven or earth can stop it. That is the season you are about to step into. So stay ready. Your blessing is not just on its way. It is being carried by heaven's army. And when it comes this time, it will be untouchable. Type "I am covered" to get the blessing 9150. There comes a moment in the spirit when heaven stamped your blessing with a seal that says, "No more delays. No more reversals." This is the point you are about to reach. Everything you have walked through, the reversal, the exposure, the preparation, has been leading to this. The car blessing is no longer in holding, it is in motion. And this time, it is irreversible. When God releases something under His seal, it does not matter who speaks against it. It does not matter who once tried to stop it. It does not matter what the enemy plans in secret. The blessing will land in your hands untouched and unshaken. The same Archangel Michael who blocked the reversal will now walk beside it, ensuring that the keys reach you without interference. This is the beauty of divine justice. God does not just give back what was yours. He gives it back in a way that shows everyone that He is the author and finisher of your story. The people who once doubted you will see you driving the very thing they thought you would never have. And when they see it, it will not just be a car. They will see proof that no plan of the enemy can cancel God's decree. Your job now is to receive it with joy, guard it with wisdom, and use it as a testimony. Every time you touch the steering wheel, remember how close the enemy came to stopping it. And remember how much closer God was to protecting it. This is your moment. The release is happening. The journey is ending. And the glory of God is about to be revealed in your life in a way that cannot be hidden. Type "I am victorious forever" to get the blessing 9999.